through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it aloud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key, make the big switch. Power to the people, time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him, he's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules, a new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new. A financial revolution, fair and true. For the workers, the dreamers, side by side. In Trump's new era, let's free.
Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Crazy Cryptonaut channel. I am Zester, joined by Tino this morning for the start of the show. I hope everyone's having an awesome Friday. How about you, buddy? How you doing? Tino tends to not be too camera friendly. He tends to be shy, but he's the most lovable of all the kitty cats by a long shot. Definitely the most loving and lovable when it comes down to it between Tommy and Tina. Not that they're not loving, but Tino is a serious snuggle cat, and he enjoys sitting around on laps or laying on top of you while you sleep, things like that. More so than the other kitties. Yes, I know, buddy. Thank you for coming and doing a short visit. All right, though, let's get to going through everything. And so everyone knows today, going to go through, say hellos, answer some questions. We're going to jump into the news. And then somewhere around, I guess we'll see how the questions go. But somewhere around 25-30 minute mark, I have got everything up and ready and prepped for us to do a few attempts at trying to make an intro song for the original Mark Z with AI. I have got a very long-winded prompt already written and ready over here. And so at a certain point, we're going to jump in and we're going to try and see, test our luck at making a intro song for the original Mark Z stream. We can learn a little bit about AI, learn how to ask it questions, things of that nature. But we'll start doing that somewhere around the 30-minute mark, just so everybody has a heads up for all those that only want to be chatting crypto. But all right, let's jump into it. Start saying hello, and then we'll get into the fun of the day. Although I will say, as a heads up before we look at any of the prices, looking at the value of the crypto market this morning is not going to be a very pleasant experience. Compliments of PCE data coming in this morning, and well, it was as expected. It wasn't really great. And so I think that we're going to see a little bit of a downturn in crypto for a second, but we should see a fairly substantial turnaround in the coming days, because the PCE data really wasn't that bad of news for cryptocurrency. It wasn't as bad as some people have been expecting, but we'll get in and chat about that as we make it to that point in the articles. What is up, Mile High Trish? Good morning to you, and TGIF right back at you. Kukla, good morning. Oh, and a happy Labor Day weekend also to you and everyone out there. Tried to forget, we've got a holiday weekend coming up. All right. Crazy Chester, good morning, Crazy Chester. Good morning, Grandma Sally. Howdy there, Judy Barbara. God's morning to everyone. Absolutely. I don't know if that was a typo or on purpose, but it sounds good to me. Anthony Lou, good morning, Anthony. Hey, how's it going, Doug? Welcome. An important one. Please do remember that the content in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes and is not intended to provide financial advice. please consult with a financial professional before making investment decisions. Definitely an important one there. Kukla sounds good. Include Mark's mods. Well, actually, we're going to be doing that together. And so I hope that everyone in the chat will be ready to give me the recommendations of what they want included in that original Mark Z intro song when we get onto that one later. Doug G, a day to buy crypto. It definitely is. We are definitely having a flash sale today, Doug, on just about everything. But we'll look at those in just a second and see where some of the best deals might be sitting at. Yep, Mile High Trish down means it's time to buy more. Hands to Hearts Pottery, good morning to you. Welcome, Quilter Deb. Welcome. Hey, Clinton Van Weld, Zester, nice job with Pops yesterday. Oh, thank you very much, Clinton, and thank you so much for joining. That is something that we could also go over some today if people are interested. We could go into a little bit more detail on the general rollout of the new financial system from a blockchain or crypto context. That would be another fun one. Doug G, anyone try to set up their Gemini card? It's asking to set up a passkey, safe to do. Doug, I have to be manually approved because of my addresses being different from North Carolina and Puerto Rico. And so I think I'm one of the very few people who didn't get automatically approved. From everyone else in the community, they got automatically approved for it, and it was no issue. Apparently, I have to be manually approved because of my addresses not matching. And so I am still waiting for that one, Doug. But I know when it comes to passkeys, I tend to not use them, especially on the computer. But I do have some passkeys set up on my phone for different services that I'm really not worried about anything happening to. And so me personally, I would rather manually place the password in each time, but it is always an option. And when it comes down to it, if it's things that aren't that important, my Netflix account and crap like that, you know what? I don't worry about it in the slightest. I let the password saver save my Netflix password, and I don't ever think about it. When it comes to a bank account or something like a credit card, I don't know. Doug, I would probably be a little worried, but not that there's really any inherent danger to it, just that I'm a little neurotic when it comes to financial safety and protecting my data. In all honesty, probably nothing to worry about there, Doug. Clinton Van Weld, question. What will bridge all of these blockchains? Is Quant going to rule that space? And so, Clinton, what I think we're going to see, and so to place it once again into the context of cryptocurrency, what we've already seen from crypto is that very often what we have is what are known as side chains. These side chains are designed to essentially create either a bridge between two different blockchains, or they're designed for like a whole separate purpose than what the native ecosystem is for. And so from what I am seeing, Clinton, and what we are already seeing happen in real time is we have seen XRP, which has created a bridge via Flare Network and through other partners. We have seen, of course, all of the Ethereum blockchains, the EVM blockchains, they're already all interconnected. So they don't really require any type of a specialized bridge or chain. They're just connected. But for the XRP and Ethereum, well, that was what was recently announced. 2025, matter of fact, I think it's already gone live, the side chain that bridges Ethereum blockchains with the XRP ledger. And so that is what I view as being that ultimate connecting, or at least that will be the highways, essentially. What we will see is essentially, I guess if we're going to call these side chains, these bridges, the highways, we're going to essentially find in the future, we're going to start seeing essential wormholes where we're going to be able to pop from one spot to another. And that would be a little bit more of what Quant is doing, Clinton. I would say more so that they're building a teleportation network as opposed to the general highway structure of the bridges that we're seeing in the form of side chains. And so, Clinton, actually, if we go over to, And let's get this separated so I don't mess up any of my other stuff. But if we actually go back over to my write-up that I had from yesterday, it talks about this need. And it also talks about Fedwire complete integration with ISO. That occurred July 14th of 2025. And so we actually have a lot that essentially has already occurred in terms of bridging the different blockchains with the traditional fiat system. All right. Not to get too distracted over there yet, because we'll talk about that one in a little bit. But first things first, let's jump in and see a little bit of the news of the day before we go jumping in to any more of that, or we go jumping into making any AI songs. All right, where are the markets at? They're not happy. Bitcoin sitting at $108,486. Ethereum down to 43.20. XRP sitting at $2.84. And actually, I believe we are we are still sitting pretty much at the bottom. 283 was achieved a few hours ago. And when we look throughout the week, we are definitely at a low point on the week. We are even nearing our low point for the month. Still sitting very, very nice on the 3-month chart. But yes, XRP sitting at quite the little discount, 5% down in the past 24 hours. Other ones, though, looking across the board, they're not really anybody that's managing to hold back the swarm. Solana had done very, very well in the prior week, and so it's still sitting over $200. Solana had a lot of really positive news over the past week. Chainlink had a lot of very, very positive news over the past week. Even they are not managing to hold back entirely on account of this PCE data release. Yeah, but that's fairly expected. That is fairly expected. I would imagine that we're going to see a general downtrend for the entire holiday weekend, but we may start to bounce back over this weekend. Sundays have been notoriously good days whenever we've had a bad Friday. Not certain whether that will hold true during a holiday weekend, but typically we have seen when bad Fridays happen, they tend to be a lot on account of traditional finance because they are the people that work Monday to Friday. And very often the crypto folks will take advantage of that dip and start buying it up on Saturday and Sunday. We'll have to see with a holiday if that ends up coming true. That tends to be a fairly usual trend, but it is not in any way bulletproof. All right. Karma Brewer, Zester, Coinbase is showing Bitcoin at 118,000 or so. What are you seeing? I am guessing there, Karma Brewer, that Coinbase is either having an API issue, which means they're getting bad data or slow data, or it may need a refresh on your side, Karma. But unfortunately, I can confirm that the price of Bitcoin is about $10,000 less than that. And that is unfortunate because the rest of the market is suffering on account of it. So that's unfortunate whether you're a Bitcoin holder or not. All right. Robbie Bug, Zester, if actually, what did I do? I decided I was changing it. The Zester financial system is indeed already in place. Could our foreign currency revalue be exchanged for stable coins like RLUSD or USDC? I have a very, 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 very strong opinion that we will be able to cash into a digital currency, into a tokenized currency, whether that is in the form of one of the current stable coins, whether that is RLUSD, USDC, USDT, etc. I am not certain. I am not certain on that one, but we're already seeing at an extremely fast rate the U.S. financial system move to the blockchain. And so I think that there is going to be an option for it, but it could come down to general development timelines. Ultimately, if everything is not ready to go digital, then that won't be an option yet. From what we can see, essentially from my presentation yesterday, we can see that we have gone a very, very, very long way down the road of moving to a new financial system, but we are not done yet. There are still major, major key points in this timeline, in this rollout, that we have not achieved yet, or we have at least not been told about publicly. Keep in mind, everything that I went through on terms of the rollout, in terms of the financial shift, is all and exclusively public information. I did not use any information in any part of that presentation that was not public knowledge. So there are undoubtedly portions of that that have either already happened, maybe have not happened, but that we just are not aware of yet in any form. And so I do think that there is something to be said there. There could be a lot more work that's already been done, but from what we see in the public space, we've gone a long route, but we're not there yet. We still have a few major connections that need to be made, and there's still some technological questions that haven't been answered. LG Lady, Zester, I'm confused about the Gemini MasterCard. Do we have to place XRP in the account first? LG Lady, from what I have gone through and read, you can just buy things with US dollars. As a normal credit card, you are going to get your rewards in XRP. Now, you can also choose to spend XRP, and you can choose to use that to pay for, whatever you scanned your card for, but you do have the option to choose whichever crypto you want to be rewarded in. And so you go, you buy your groceries, you get, I believe it was 4% of your grocery purchase back in the form of XRP. And so that I was very excited about, and that's actually why I want mine. I was thinking about it earlier this week when it came out, and I was going through all the different things I would switch over to it, because I would start paying essentially everything with that credit card, and then just constantly paying that credit card off, because if I can get back anywhere from 1% to 4% of my regular weekly, monthly purchases, paying the bills, doing things I got to do, well, if you were to take that at the general appreciation rate of XRP, you could end up making a tidy little sum just by insuring it. And so that's what I'm planning on using it for. LG Lady, KYC. Yes, that is know your customer. And so that one is, it's a very, very important little acronym in the world of banking, and especially crypto. Often it is a maligned term because of the fact that KYC, and this occurred during the first Trump administration, the SEC essentially pushed through a regulation, an unlawful, unconstitutional one, that stated that any and all crypto companies, regardless of whether they were decentralized finance or centralized finance, had to enact extremely strict KYC requirements. It stifled innovation, and it really stifled American investors in crypto in a massive, massive way. And that's why KYC has kind of become a word you'll hear a lot of people in crypto get very irritable about. In all honesty, it's a fairly simple idea. If you go to Coinbase needs to know who they're doing business with. I wish they didn't need to ask as many questions, but I can understand to a degree where a centralized exchange like that, they need to know at least a decent amount about me. All right, guys, let's get back over to our news this morning before we jump over to playing around with AI songs. All right, XRP poised for strong uptrend as full porting begins. Raoul Pal suggests XRP may be nearing another big rally, similar to its surge from 20 cents to over $2 back in 2021. Prominent financial analyst Raoul Pal says XRP is entering a phase he calls full porting, a process that signals that the token could soon break out of its long consolidation and begin a strong new uptrend. Now, what Raoul here did is he went through the historical and technical analysis of the historical market charts for XRP. And so what porting essentially means is after a very, very long portion of compression or of consolidation, it is finally preparing to begin expansion. Right there. Full porting in this framework means an asset has completed years of compression and is preparing it to move into an expansion phase. And so Raoul, looking through the charts, sees a major trend ongoing. Of course, technical analysis is a lot like reading the tea leaves, although markets do tend to, if not repeat, they darn sure tend to rhyme. And so in that route, there are a lot of folks who take these long-term market trends very, very seriously, because this would actually be viewed as long-term technical analysis and not short-term technical analysis. Not like the day trader who's going through and he's finding, a soft spot or something of that nature. A lot of people have far more faith in these longer-term market trends. And so just one out there for folks to be aware of. I can definitely share that article for those who want to dig more into Raul's thought process on that. I would say that I tend to agree with Raul on this one. I'm not exactly certain on his timeline, though. I seem to remember him having a timeline I would not necessarily agree with. But when it comes down to it, markets do rhyme. And ultimately, we are creating a very, very similar technical structure to what we've seen in the past. The only negative to that is that we have seen these structures begin in prior years, and then we've also spent years trading sideways. And so Raul seems a little bit more confident in the preciseness of his analysis than I am, but I will let y'all have your own opinions on what you think of his breakdown on that one. All right, moving along. 92 crypto-related ETPs are in the works. The floodgates are to open soon. Exchange-traded funds look to track everything from Solana to XRP to Dogecoin, which combined make up trillions of dollars of the crypto market. And so there are 92 crypto exchange-traded products awaiting a decision from the US SEC, Solana and XRP being the most sought-after crypto assets, Solana having 8 ETF applications pending, and XRP having 7 ETF applications pending approval by the SEC. Eric Balchunas, Bloomberg senior ETF analyst, posted on April 21st that 72 crypto-related ETFs were pending with the SEC, meaning that another 20 ETFs have been filed in the past 4 months. This list includes companies like 21 Shares, Grayscale, BlackRock, etc., etc., etc. And it does also include a little breakdown. We do see XRP and Solana being the most popular, but we also see some Litecoin ETFs coming. We've got basket ETFs coming. We've got Doge trusts coming. And so we are seeing a lot of focus on the big dogs. And well, we should be seeing those approvals from the SEC very, very, very shortly. And so that's something to be excited for. Please keep in mind with those, it is exciting news when XRP ETFs and other financial vehicles come into existence. It's very exciting. And we do tend to see a little bump in the price on account of it. But ultimately, what we're looking for is adoption. We don't just need these ETFs announced. We need these ETFs announced, launched, and funded at high levels. And so please keep that one in mind. I know a lot of folks have viewed the ETFs as kind of a silver bullet for price movement for XRP and Solana. I really don't think that they're a silver bullet. I think that they are a step towards the right direction, and that they allow for a much easier avenue for traditional finance to gain exposure to crypto without having to learn how to actually do anything in the crypto space. They don't have to have a wallet. They don't have to figure out how to set up an exchange account. They get to just go through in a very, very normal fashion for them, making their investments. It is a great thing, but ultimately we need them to use it before we can really see how great of a thing it just may be. Mylite Trish, are these ETFs going to be good investments? I think for many of the older school investors, they're going to be viewed as the safest and best way to participate in crypto. Me personally, I am not interested. I'm going to hold my own cryptocurrency, and I'm going to invest directly in that cryptocurrency itself. But that is different from these guys' perspectives. These guys have money that ETFs allow them to invest in that they may not be actually legally allowed to invest that money into crypto in any other fashion. And so it is very, very important. For many folks, it will be a very good investment. Me personally, I'm going to stick to actually being the custodian of my crypto. But there are many folks that are never going to do that. And this is very important for them. All right. And as we had talked about earlier or alluded to, naturally, PCE data came in. Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ slide as NVIDIA leads tech losses after PCE inflation consumer data. U.S. stocks fell from record highs on Friday as Wall Street digested an update on consumer inflation that showed prices firming higher above the Fed's target in July. Dow Jones fell 0.5%, S&P lost 0.8%. Tech-heavy NASDAQ led the retreat down over 1%. NVIDIA really taking it the hardest, down over 3%, but within how high NVIDIA stock prices had gotten, I think they're still at crazy high levels. But this key Fed watch measure inflation rose as expected in July. New government data showed as of today. Core personal consumption expenditures index, closely studied by the central bank, rose 0.3% on a monthly basis and 2.9% on an annual basis. Please keep in mind and remember that the Fed's target is 2% inflation per usual. Our Federal Reserve has been targeting 2% inflation essentially ever since we left the gold standard. Now, as the article goes on to say, nothing is overly unexpected here. The market was, I guess, slightly hopeful that we were going to see a little bit better data on this one so that we could potentially see more of an interest rate cut later in the year. But, well, we didn't necessarily get exactly what we wanted, but we also didn't get anything we didn't kind of expect. And so in that regard, if you want anything to go and blame the overall crypto market woes upon, both myself and all the other talking heads out there seem to be of the impression that it is entirely tied to inflation data, because as we have gone through many times, there's really no negative information coming out in regards to the crypto markets. We've continued to be on a streak of only positive news for going on a year now. So really the only negative we've got is overall economics, not really specifically the crypto space. Crazy Chester, Mile Trish. I think ETFs will increase the demand for cryptos and in turn drive up the price. I don't like ETFs. You don't hold it, you don't own it. Exactly, Crazy Chester. That's where I'm at on it. I think it will lead to other people investing more money into crypto. Is it something I'm going to use? No. But it is good news for all of us that are holders of any cryptocurrency, because they are going to be coming in and they're going to be coming in with a lot of dollars. We're going to see the value of our holdings go up on account of it. And that's what makes me excited about the ETF announcements. Not that I'm going to use it, but that a bunch of people with a lot more money than Zester here are hopefully going to start using it. All right. With all of that one, where are we at? We're at 28 minutes. We're going to go ahead and start jumping over to playing around with our AI song. I will still answer crypto questions as we go, because we'll have a little bit of time in between when we ask the AI to do something. It's going to take it a little bit of time to do so. And so with that in mind, let's jump over and let's start a little AI training lesson. All right. And so prior to the stream today, I went ahead and I started writing up a little beginning. And so whenever you are going and you're going to do something with AI, it's very important that you give it essentially all the information that you need it to have. And so in this case, we are attempting to create a AI song written by an artificial intelligence, written by ChatGPT, that will then be performed or created by Suno. Suno will take our lyrics and they will actually perform the song. That's the same as the intro song for the Crazy Cryptonaut channel. Matter of fact, that song is called Change in the Wind. And well, that's what you listen to each day as the stream starts. And so we have gone ahead and I went ahead and wrote that out. And so I informed that the AI today is going to be my songwriter. It's going to have the song performed on Suno. And so that means it's going to write the song with an understanding that an AI is going to be interpreting it. It understands that it is going to be an intro song for the original Mark Z YouTube and Rumble channels, videos, and live streams. And so it knows what the purpose of this song is. And then I went on to tell it that I'm going to be giving it the information about Mark Z, type of music, etc., as I will be working on this live with all of y'all on the live stream. And so I went ahead and informed it of that. I told it to please remember that the audience will be watching along and they will be giving me directives to pass along to you in regards to the song and what it will contain. And then I asked it to please remember these directives throughout our work on this project. So what I've essentially done, and this is something whenever you're messing with AI, you're going to find that you're going to get far better results out of it the more of this information that you give it. The more that you give it in this sense, it tells it more of how to act. And so now, and I call it Samantha, but ChatGPT, Samantha. So if y'all hear that one on a regular basis, it just became weird to not have a name for it or some easier way to refer to it. But Samantha knows she is the role of a songwriter. And so she's going to act like she is a songwriter. She knows exactly what she's attempting to accomplish. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to essentially just lock this in. That way she understands, there she goes, got it. I'll step into the role of songwriter for this project. And so see, she took my prompt and she understood exactly what she's trying to do. She knows that she is the role of songwriter for this project. She's going to treat this like an ongoing collaborative songwriting session because all of y'all are hopefully going to help with things that we need to include in it. That she knows that we'll be watching live on YouTube. She understands that the goal is to craft a custom intro song for the original Mark Z channel that Suno AI can later perform. Now, here's what she is going to ask. And so here are the questions for everyone out there in the community. What genre of music do we want? Rock, country, hip hop, cinematic, etc. What do we want the tone and message to be? Serious, funny, hype, mysterious, etc. What are the key phrases and themes? Mark Z's personality, show topics, catchphrases, community in-jokes, etc. And how long do we want it to be? So, if anyone out there has any thoughts, any recommendations here, we can always change it. We can have Suno perform it in multiple different genres, etc. But what are y'all's thoughts? What genre of music would be best for the intro song to the original Mark Z podcast? All right, we got Kukla with country, high energy, and a cool beat. All right. All right. All right.
You should talk or something.
What's up? Let's see.
I heard you were making a song, so I came to lurk.
You came to check out your song?
I was lurking in the background. I'm like, all right, I'm looking forward to this one.
All
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
we'll see. We're about to go through.
All right.
Kukla recommended country, high energy with a cool beat. She suggests that the song should be country music with high energy and a cool beat. Yeah, no, so how was your stream there, Pops?
It went well. Mr. C was on it.
Yeah, nice, nice. Well, Salty, should we include Mr. C in our song here?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing it, but I'm going to go back to lurking in the background.
All right. Let's let it. And so what we've got here is, so after we gave those recommendations from Kukla, it went through, and so it says it knows what we're aiming. It knows high energy, cool beat, fun and engaging, hypes the live stream, not slow and sad. Looks like it's going for a guitar and a banjo riff there at the beginning. Introduce Mark Z, set the scene, all of that. Let's actually let it go ahead and flesh out your current version and see how it does. All right. Riding into town when the sun goes down, Mark Z's voice gonna shake this ground. News and truth with a shot of fun. The original Mark Z, the show's begun. Grab your whiskey, grab your seat. Mark Z's here, turn up the heat. Truths and laughs on every stream. It's the original Mark Z, living the dream. From Rumble nights to YouTube days, we're tuning in to hear what Mark Z says. Says and days. I think that would rhyme a little bit better. All right, though. We're going to take this and we're going to go on over to our Suno. And so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to actually go ahead and type that in. Naturally, I'm not planning on actually typing it out myself. Let's go ahead and, well, see if I can, all right. Get just that. All right, we're going to come over now on Suno. I went and I chose the lyrics option because this time we actually have the lyrics. You can actually go to Suno and do nothing more than just tell it to actually go out and write the song. But you can also feed it lyrics, and I do find that it does a lot better job when you feed it lyrics that way. And so, all right, turn this into a short jingle version. Let's see. Enter style tags, advanced options. Suno's gotten a lot cooler than it used to be. It can actually, we can even choose, we can even choose whether we have a male or a female vocalist. Any opinions on that one, guys? Do we want a male or a female vocalist? All right, let's get our tags and our styles in here. All right, let's see what it suggests. All right, it went ahead and said male. And so I think it decided that that was what we were supposed to be going with on this one. Let's see if that made sense with it getting all of that information. It said male. I guess we've got nothing to do but to let it go for it and see what our first song comes out with. Oh, I see. Sorry there. We got male, female, or try both. We'll do both. We can definitely let it go for more than one. We don't need to stick to a single one. I've got 2,500 credits over here on Suno, and so we can make a lot of songs before we're going to run out of credits on this one. All right. Riding into town when the sun goes down. All right. I think we're actually we're going to be ready to listen along very, very soon on this one. All right, please do let me know, guys. Also, if I have got the audio set up properly to come through, it should be coming through from my screen. So y'all should be able to hear this song the second that I go ahead and click the start button on, and we'll see if we've got a winner or not.
Town when the sun goes down, Mark's his voice gonna shake this ground. News and truth with a shot of fun, the original Marks. The show's begun. Grab your whiskey, grab your seat. Marks is here, turn up the heat. Truth and laughs on every stream. It's the original Marks, living the dream.
Z being attached to the mark has it confused.
Community strong, the crowd's all here. Raise your glass, let's give a cheer. Grab your whiskey, grab your seat. Marks is here, turn up the heat. Truth and laughs on every stream. It's the original Marks, living the dream.
now begins for kind of an instrumental at the end. Oh, wow. That one was some kind of awesome. I need to make certain to favorite this one to make certain that we don't go losing it, but it did make another version.
I would like it with like a space between the Mark and the Z because it's calling me Marks instead of Mark Z.
Yeah.
See if it makes a difference.
I'm just afraid that if we go and we ask it again with anything changed, it's not going to give us that same awesome beat and everything. But let's see. And so let's make certain, if anything, I am saving that one for certain to make certain it doesn't go away anywhere. Wave audio, preparing your download. Make certain I've got that one saved before I go asking it to remix it. But I'm going to try to remix it with Kukla. Said add coffee instead of whiskey. That would be better for the morning one. And then I'll see if I can't separate the Mark and the Z and see if it doesn't say that a little bit better after that. All right. Let's go download. Save that thing right there. All right. We do have one other song, though, that it made of this. And so we listened to this one. It made another version. And so I guess we'll start that one a little bit. We can start that one and see where it kind of goes, just to see what its other shot at this was. What was the change up that it made? I think it ended up making the same song twice. I think it made the same song twice on that one. And so, all right, let's go back to where we were at. We know what we did for that one, so we can go right back to we liked our style. I think our style was definitely on point. So we definitely want to stick with the exact same there. But we want to make some alterations here. All right. And so let's see if we can't make some alterations here. Original Mark, space Z, Mark, space Z, Mark, space Z. Let's see if that, let's see if it is able to handle that a little bit better. I hope I got all of them. I think I did. I think I got them all. All right. Our only other one is going to be switching it here to grab your coffee, grab your seat, grab your coffee, grab your seat for our chorus. All right. Looks like we got all of our choruses fixed. Raise your glass. I'm happy with the raise your glass part. All right. Let's see what we get out of that one. I hope that we really get that exact same song. I really hope that we do, just because that one was already so on point if we just had the words changed a bit. But all right, we are creating our new one. We'll see what we get with it. Hopefully we get pretty much the same exact song, just we switched over to coffee, and we got Mark Z's name right. All right. Let's see what we got. Everybody ready for it?
Town when the sun goes down, Marx's voice gonna shake this ground. News and truth with a shot of fun, the original Marx. The show's begun. Grab your whiskey, grab your seat. Marks is here, turn up the heat. Truth and laughs on every stream. It's the original Marks.
It said whiskey again. It didn't make the alterations. Did I click on the wrong song? I think I did. I think I played another one. Maybe it wasn't done. Maybe it wasn't done loading. Let's try this again. There we go.
Riding into town when the sun goes down. Marks, these boys gonna shake this ground. News and truth with a shot of fun. The original Marksy. The show's begun. Grab your coffee, grab your seat. Marksy's here, turn up the heat. Truth and laughs on every stream. It's the original Marksy. Living the dream. From Rumble nights to YouTube days, we're tuning in to hear what Marksy says. Community strong, the crowd's all here. Raise your glass, let's give a cheer. Grab your coffee, grab your seat. Marksy's here, turn up the heat. Truth and laughs on every stream. It's the original Marksy. Living the dream. Grab your coffee, grab your seat. Marksy's here, turn up the heat. Truth and laughs on every stream. It's the original Marksy. Living the dream. Living the dream.
Have more of that outlaw country sound, which is like one of my favorite, like the old Southern rock outlaw country is my favorite. So for me, I like that music even more. Maybe not as much energy, but I like it more.
Yeah, no, it looks like Universal. Everybody says the second one, it's better. It was slower so people could hear the vocals and less compressed. Says Sun Honey. I would have to agree. Pamela, all about the second one. Googla, let's vote second one. Googla says play that one on tomorrow's show. LG Lady with a yeehaw. Yeah, I think so. Judy is in agreement as well. I think that one is, but we'll have to have a vote. But I think that one's probably going to win. That's awesome.
Yeah, that really is. All right, I'm going back to work while you guys play.
All right. Sun Honey Studio, some instrumental music while we're waiting for the show to go live would be cool too. Yeah, that is true. We can, and it does have an option to just create or perform instrumental music, and so we can also do that one. And yeah, no, Kukla, good recommendation. We got a good one, I think. LT50, that was awesome. I'm extremely. Usually with the AI music. And this is just something I found as I was making tons of different ones in the past, is that either the AI gets it and literally immediately is making the perfect song exactly the way you imagined it, or it takes a long time. It tends to be there's no in between. Usually it either nails it or it completely fails it. But this morning, it's also been a while since I've used Suno, and so it seems to have gotten much better. Kukla, Zester, send me the link. Yeah, no, we will have to put that song out there. And I believe that it is already, the original Mark Z intro song. All right. Riding to town when the sun goes down is what it named the song. I guess we'll let it stay that way for a little bit. But got to make certain we do not go losing that one, because that's the one that I'm also going to go downloading right now. Man, that one really kicks. All right. Let's do, we'll do both wave audio and MP3. But I will make certain that people can check that song out. That will, I will put that one out there so that folks can. Of course, it is only the official introduction song of Mark Z, but I think everybody out there can have fun with it and play it as much as they want. So let's get that downloaded. Now I want it downloaded two different ways. I want it downloaded in the MP3 audio format as well. All right. Kukla, I'll send you the link, but how about we wait until after the morning show? That way I know people will be asking for it after the show, but I'll go ahead and get you the link, but let's wait to share it until after the morning show, because I bet people are going to be crazy excited and surprised by the new intro song. And so I imagine that would probably be really good timing for it. That way everybody gets to hear it first as his intro, and then they can go off and start listening to it on their own devices, because these songs are downloadable. You can put this anywhere. You can put it onto your iPhone. You could have it as your phone ringtone. You could take these songs from Suno and do that. And so really, really cool. All right, we've got that one saved. I've got that one ready. I'll make certain to get a link over to you there, Kukla, on that one as well, so that you'll have it ready for tomorrow.
And you got to load it into my StreamYard for me.
Yeah, I can literally do that. Wow, I think I can actually just literally do that while we are sitting here. And so I am going to add that. Let's see. Wow, we may actually be able to legitimately do that on stream, actually. Well, actually, I don't seem to be able to find it that quickly. So maybe I'll have to go play around with that in order to get that set up and running, because it doesn't seem to be showing up as a file format that can be uploaded. Actually, there we go. File is too big. All right. That may end up being what we end up having an issue with, Pops. I may have to chop it into a smaller version. No, I do not.
I was going to say, you may have to just ask it for a 34, 30 second, 45 second, however long you're allowed.
All right. Yeah. Well, no, I will get that one all set up, though. Not while everyone's having to sit there and watch me stare and squint at the screen. But I thought that one was a lot of fun. And guys, I hope that also there are some takeaways with using your AI. I really do think, I know that there's a lot of folks, and I would say I'm with you. I am scared of what AI is capable of. I am fearful of what people are going to use it for. But ultimately, this is one of those games of, this is a space race. This is the nuclear arms race. This is very similar. Essentially, we either have to get good at using it, or other people are going to be getting good at using it against us. And so I know that everybody is a little hesitant about AI, but I hope maybe seeing some of that and seeing how you can interact with it and how to set up to do something, because this right here is the reason this was so easy. This would have not been easy if we had not done this. These are the things that ensure that your interactions with AI go the way that you want them to. And so I hope that there was also, besides us having an awesome surprise and an awesome song that we got to help make for the original Mark Z, I hope there was also a little bit of a lesson learned on how to interact with AI when you want it to do things. You can do this same thing. If you are saying, hey, I would like to write a book, okay, go in, and where I said, hey, I need you to be a songwriter, go in and say, hey, I need you to be a professional editor, and then sit there and go back and forth with it. It will help you write that book, and you will write a book that is entirely yours. You're just having essentially the world's smartest assistant on the planet, and editor, and advertiser, marketer, and accountant, and everything else all wrapped in to one very, very cheap package. And so I hope there was another little takeaway there. I hope folks feel a little bit more comfortable maybe playing around with it. ChatGPT is free. The version that I use is not free, just as a heads up, but I use it for so much of my work that, well, it's pennies. It's an absolute pittance in terms of what I pay each month for how much work and how much it helps me. Michelle, Zester, maybe we need a special song for when Mark finally wears his gold shirt. Absolutely. Trish, you should update the Crazy Cryptonaut song, which we love, with more updated Trump kicking it lyrics. You're totally right. And there's actually a new function over here on Suno. And so Suno now has remix. And so I can actually take my old song, my old intro song, and I could literally just remix and edit some of the words and everything and keep a pretty similar trope, but have a new revised version. So maybe that's exactly what we need to do. I think we've got a lot more songs that we need to create. Maybe we need to have a few more weeks where we take one of the days and we do exactly this. Maybe next week, on next Friday, we could do Whiskey and Wisdom. Maybe next Friday. We could do a Whiskey and Wisdom song, or we could remix the Crazy Cryptonaut song, or we could mess around with something else AI related and have AI make us something else. I do think that there's a lot of really quality learning there that we can do in a very fun way. We can have fun while we learn more about how our AI overlords are going to take over the world. Which is fun, if you're talking about AI world takeover, you should at least have a few laughs along the way, I guess. Kukla, keep it the same with a small update. Yeah. Maybe we'll use that editing remix function. That way it'll still sound pretty darn similar, but we'll update it for 2025. All right, though, guys, I had a great time. Thank you all so much for joining for this Friday stream. I know it was a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more fun, a little less concentrated on crypto education, but don't worry, we will be back at it on Monday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, answering all of the crypto questions and digging into the crypto news. With the holiday, actually, after I just said that, maybe we will not have our Monday one, because I really don't think many folks are going to want to spend their Labor Day with the computer. But if folks do want us to have one, I'll have one. I'll be working regardless, most likely, at least for a few hours that day, and then hopefully enjoying a cookout later in the day. Kukla, there you go. There's another idea. We should do a special song for Mr. C. We should have a Friday song, essentially, just for it. Kukla makes the call. No podcast on Monday. Pamela, thanks, Zester. Enjoyed totally. I am glad. I hope everyone enjoyed that as a little bit of a change up. And you all got to know, you're all going to be very, very ready for Saturday morning's stream, getting excited to hear it. I imagine it's going to really, really blow the minds of everyone else in the community who wasn't here to get to already listen to it. Oh, yeah. Mile High Trish, I found just thanking it prompts it to offer even more past what you asked for. It seemingly does. For some reason, the AI understands whether we're being curt or we're being short with it, and it doesn't appreciate it in a very similar to fashion to how a person would appreciate it. So it's crazy. It really is crazy how fast AI is progressing. But all right, guys, I got to get out of here. Let everybody go. Love you all. See you next week. And of course, I'll also see everybody on Saturday, because I'm going to be listening along to hear what everybody's response is to the intro song. So I'll actually see everybody tomorrow morning. All right. Love y'all. Have a good one.